Hey you guys, it's Toya and thank you for watching Toya JTV. Today marks week 14 in the How to Stretch Your Relaxer series. So for those of you all that are striving to get those 2 inches that you need to safely relax your hair, you only have 2 more weeks to go. I mean, you practically made it at this point. You have done fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and push for, I'm going to 24 weeks, which will equal 6 months. As of right now, I have already shampooed, conditioned, and blow dried my hair. I really wish that you all could just feel my hair. It feels amazing. Okay, it feels amazing. I really didn't do anything different, but I shampooed it as always with the Silk Hydration by L. Jones products. I used the clarifying shampoo first, which I always do. This time I did use the moisturizing shampoo second. Okay, a lot of times I don't use the moisturizing shampoo just because sometimes my hair can tend to get on the oily side and start producing oils on its own at a faster rate than it normally does. And so, you know, when I try to predict when that's going to happen, and if I use the moisturizing shampoo, then it's likely to happen faster. So sometimes I don't use the moisturizing shampoo. This time I did use the moisturizing shampoo and my hair feels amazing. Okay, I used the clarifying first to give me like a clean base, get all of the residue from last week off of my hair, because I did rods last week, so I put a lot of moisturizing agents on my hair, which weighed it down, but it made my curls stay popping, and it made my any frizz that may come from wearing rods, it basically eliminated that. So I wanted to get all of the residue from previous products out of my hair, which is why I used the clarifying shampoo. Then I followed that up with the moisturizing shampoo, and the moisturizing shampoo includes liquid silk, powdered silk, all things silk is included in this moisturizing shampoo to give your hair just a very luxurious feel. Okay, and then I use the replenishing conditioner, and I let that sit for a few minutes, rinse that out, and then I blow dried my hair. Oh, and then before I blow dried it, I sprayed a very generous amount of the leave-in conditioner on, and then I blow dried my hair. Okay, so that is where we are right now to this point. Since I did extremely curly last week, I'm going to give you all one guess on what I'm going to do this week. This week, I'm going for straight. Okay, I've been missing my straight hair since I put the first roller in my hair last week. So this week, I'm going to go ahead and just flat iron it. And I always start on the left side. There's really no right or wrong way. If you like starting on your right side, do that. If you like, you know, going straight across, going from left to right, do that. If you like going from right to left, do that. This is just my preferred way of doing my hair. There is no right or wrong way. You just want to make sure you get, you know, all of your hair done at the end, and you know, not leaving any pieces that you haven't flat ironed. And you want to make sure that your heat tools are set to a good temperature, and that you're not going too many passes with the flat iron on your hair. Other than that, you are good. So week 14. So I have basically 10 more weeks. 10 more weeks, which really is not a long time at all. But, you know, for most of you, if this is your first time stretching, you can see that it was not that bad. Once you wrap your mind around the fact that you are going to do this, okay, you are going to stretch your relaxer out, you're ready to take your hair to that next level. Once you do that, then the rest is easy. It's really just making up your mind, you know, that you're gonna do it. And also, when I had my hair rotted, to keep it up, what I did was I ended up rolling it at night and then putting my satin cap on. So I basically slept in rollers, which was okay. It wasn't terrible, but I didn't, you know, get that deep sleep that I get when I'm just wear wrapped. Which is another reason why I just like my hair straight, because the maintenance is easy peasy. Just wrap it up, put your scarf on, and you are good. And once I get to this point, which is the point where I flat iron, it is, I mean, this is the easy part right here, because I've already blown it dry. I've gotten it pretty straight just by blow drying it, and then the flat iron is just bringing it on home. So this part normally doesn't take me but 15, maybe 20 minutes to do. From start to finish, I can flat iron my hair, shampoo, blow dry, and flat iron my hair in normally an hour or less. And that's even at 14 weeks. The reason why is because the products, the Silk Hydration products, they soften my hair, including the new growth, to a point where it makes it so much easier to manage. Like, I can comb through my new growth with no problems. There's no crunchiness going on, no snap, crackling, or popping going on. But it makes it really soft, which makes, you know, dealing with the two textures very easy. And remember, when you're flat ironing your hair, you want to get as close as you can. You want to take, if your hair is thick, you want to first take small sections, because you want to make sure all of that hair is getting flat ironed, okay? And then you want to get as close to your root as possible without burning yourself. Now, that may take a little practice, but you can do it. You know, you just have to go fast when you're that close to your root. Don't let the flat iron just sit, you know. Put it on there and start sliding down. One of the questions that I got last week was, someone asked, do I blow dry my hair every time I shampoo it? The answer is yes. I don't know, because now if you want to use a hooded dryer, then that's fine. I actually, on last week's video, when I rotted it, you remember I did not use a hooded dryer because I thought that I threw my hooded dryer away. Well, in cleaning our basement out this past weekend, I stumbled upon my hooded dryer. Now, I still probably am not going to use it very often, but I do know that it is there if I did need it. But no, you can sit up under a hooded dryer if you want. I choose to use the blow dryer because I typically don't have a lot of time to do things. Normally the night before, or normally at night, what I do is make a list of everything that I need to do for the next day, especially on my off days, which today is a Monday, which I'm off on Monday. So I normally write a list of everything that I need to get done. So I really don't have a lot of time to just like for my hair. I have a limited amount of time. So I try to do the quickest thing possible. Plus, I just don't like sitting under the dryer. So I blow dry my hair. I let it air dry for a while. I let it air dry maybe 5 or 10 minutes. So after I put my leave-in conditioner on and detangle it, I'll let it air dry for a few minutes before I start blow drying. That way it doesn't take me as long because my hair is not just soaking wet. And also I don't have to use as much heat to get it completely dry. But yes, I flat iron my hair every time. I blow dry my hair every time. The key is to, once a week is fine, but the key is to know how to use heat correctly. Like, you don't want to, you have to know your hair. So if your hair is thick, then your hair may be able to take just a little bit more heat because it's going to require that to dry. Now, if your hair is thin, then you want to set your blow dryer. You probably can blow dry your hair on warm instead of hot. And then you can, you know, have your flat iron or curling iron or whatever tool you're using on a setting towards the lower end, because your hair doesn't require a whole lot of heat. So you have, that's why most of the time when you all ask me, what do you have your flat iron set on? Most of the time I don't answer that question, because I don't want you to use what I use. I want you to use based on your hair, because all of our hair is different. So if your hair is not real thick, you should not be using what I'm using. If your hair is thicker than mine, you may need to, you know, bump up from what I'm using. But how I get to the point of what I use is I start at about 400 and I see, is this gonna be enough, you know, to flat iron my hair one time and not just keep going over it, you know, multiple passes with the flat iron. If not, if the answer is no, then I'm going to crank it up to 425. Ask myself the same question. If the answer is no, I'm going to keep cutting it up in increments of about 20 to 25 until I get to that point. So that's how you get to the number that you need to get to. So don't just say, oh, well, what are you using? Well, Latoya uses this, so I'm going to use this. And then, you know, meanwhile, you burnt all your hair out, and then you want to say I made you, you know, burn your hair out. No, you go by what is best for your hair. But most of the time I do. Last week was one of the only weeks that I did not blow dry my hair, and that was because I did the rods. And that's not typically something I do on a regular basis. I don't like curls. It's like I have a love-hate relationship with curls. I mean, they aren't the worst thing in the world, but they're not my favorite thing on the menu. You know, I just kind of do it for versatility, to show you all different styles that you can do for your hair and, you know, things like that. But it's not my favorite. You know how, like, sometimes you'll go to a restaurant. Well, I know me. A lot of times I'll go to a restaurant and I order the same thing every time from that restaurant. But every now and then I'll get the urge to try something new. And then when I try something new, 9 times out of 10 I don't like it. I'm like, I should have just stuck with what I had. You know, that's how it is with me and curls. You know, I always order the same thing off of my hair menu, which is straight. You know. But every now and then I want to try something different. And I'll do curls. And then once I do the curls, I'm like, I should have just kept my straight hair. And even though, another tip I wanted to give you guys is that even though I only relax my hair every 6 months, I still get my ends trimmed in between. So I try to trim my ends like every 3 months. But again, that's something that you have to kind of gauge for yourself. I can go 3 months because most of the time I wear my hair straight. So most of the time I'm wrapping it. And when you wrap your hair every single night, it helps you to prolong your ends not splitting as fast. So you don't need to trim as often. Now, if I were to just be, for instance, if I just put a satin cap on and just went to sleep, or if I didn't use anything, I just went to sleep, I probably would need a trim every, maybe every 6 weeks to every 2 months. And that's just because the friction of my hair rubbing up against whatever I'm laying on will cause those ends to start splitting faster. When you are have it wrapped in your silk scarf or your satin scarf or whatever you're using, they're laying flat. There's no friction that's causing them to come loose faster. Now, there is nothing that's going to just prevent you from your ends not splitting at all, but you can, prolong it. And then the key is to get your ends trimmed as soon as you see evidence of them splitting, because that way you won't have to get as much cut. If you say, oh, I'll wait till next time, oh, I'll wait till next time, you keep saying that, that hair is just going to continue to split up the hair shaft. And eventually you're going to need a full-on cut and not just a trim. I consider a trim, one of my stylist friends was like, what's the difference? A cut is a cut. You're still cutting the hair. Even though you're trimming it, you're still cutting it. So, why are you saying trim versus cut? Well, I say trim versus cut because I consider a trim to be an inch of hair or less. Okay? Just an inch or less. If I have to cut more than an inch off of your hair, then that's when I consider that a cut. And that's going to cost you more money. So that's where I do a lot. When I do silk presses in the salon, a lot of my natural people, some of them say they hadn't got a trim in years. And I'm like, okay, at this point, you're going to be getting a cut. Because you have skipped several trims. So you're no longer going to be getting a trim. It's going to be a full-on cut. And then I charge accordingly. Because when you're natural, it's easy to not really notice that your ends have split because it's all curly. It all blends in. But the minute you straighten that hair, you can immediately tell. So while your hair is all curly, and it's in its natural state, you're thinking you're just having a good old time. Your hair doesn't need a trim, but it does. It's just being camouflaged. But trims are not the devil. They help your hair to stay healthy. Alright, so as you can see, I'm basically finishing up. I'm already on the last panel. Remember I told you that it does not take me that long to flat iron. Even with almost 2 inches of new growth. Even the parts of my hair that, remember I showed you the parts that were growing back from breaking from after I had the baby. Even those parts of my hair are growing. And it's only been a week and I can still tell that it's growing. So what I'm gonna do now, I don't have to go anywhere for a couple of hours. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it, and then I'll just take it down once I get ready to leave. And I'm going to spray some. I did not use any silky serum oil this time, but I just sprayed some of the Miracle Potion number 9 in, It is very lightweight. And can you see the shine that it just gave my hair? This is one of my best sellers. This and the leave-in conditioner. These are some of my, two of my best sellers of the Silk Hydration line. Because all of my products are designed to make your hair lightweight. You still want body and movement. You want it to move. So anything that's heavy is not going to allow your hair to do that. Alright, you guys, so this is week 14, how to stretch your relaxer challenge. Well, it's really not a challenge, but the series. I will see you guys next week for week 15. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you next week, and be sure to subscribe to this channel. Bye-bye.